to this beat.
Welcome to another episode. Welcome to another episode of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I'm your man, Captain Will. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will, so I continue to bring you that gospel of Gamecocks every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now rocking with the best. And since you're rocking with the best, come rock with your man, Captain Will. We got a good one today, y'all. I said we got a good one today, y'all. We are talking about the SEC tournament, the road to the championship. Greatness overload this week in Greenville, South Carolina. It is going down. It is going down. And so many great basketball teams, great venue. The intensity going to be crazy. Last time Gamecock fans was at the Greenville area. Almost went Maryland on you. It was you talking about Camila Cardoza, sealing the deal with the championship with that 3-point basket, over Tennessee. Terrific atmosphere. I've been to so many sporting events in my life, and that was the most fun I've ever had in a sporting event, regardless of the sport. It was amazing. And I look for great things this week as we see. I mean, come on, you're talking about Carolina, number 1 seed, Texas, number 2 seed, LSU, number 3 seed, Kentucky. It's so many great teams that are going to be taking part in this tournament. And then you could go down the list and say, like, the first 10 seeds out of the 16, teams will be in the tournament. That's insane. That is crazy. But this is going to be so much fun. So much fun. And we're going to talk about predictions. We're going to break down the top contenders, possible upsets. It's going to be so much fun this week. All right, let's start with the contenders. Let's do the contenders breakdown. And we're going to go from number 3 to number 1. Number 3 is LSU. Now, LSU is reeling a bit, I would say, because Flage ain't playing in the tournament. Flage Johnson, huge part of LSU. Huge part of LSU. Minutes played, points, rebounds, assists, defense, all those things LSU will be missing from Flage Johnson. So they're going to hopefully she'll be able to play in the NCAA tournament. But right now, she is not playing in the SEC tournament, and that it kind of pains me because you don't want to see top players going down with injury. You want to see the best play the best, and if you're a fan of women's basketball, you want to see Flage playing. Make the bottom. That's it, and let the better team win. Now LSU as a whole, 27-3 overall, 12-4 in the conference, 10th in net rating, 17th overall strength of schedule. 6 quadrant 1 wins. They've had a very good basketball season. The quadrant 1 wins is much lower than Texas and South Carolina because LSU did not play the schedule that Texas nor South Carolina played. But they are potentially going to be a number 2 seed in the NCAA tournament. Probably now with Flage out, we could probably say number 3 seed because it means a lot. It means a lot. 13th in offensive rating. They've been really good and really efficient with the ball on the offensive end, and field goal percentage is 32nd because you have players like Anissa Morrow who can finish at the rim. You have players like Flage who can finish at the rim. They field goal percentage has been good, and those that three-headed monster of LSU playing so many minutes. So if those 3 players play well, their field goal percentage is going to be legit. But now one of those cogs is gone, so you want to go from a tricycle to a bicycle. So what's the next step for LSU? This goes to a team that hasn't played their bench a lot. Now they got to play their bench. Now they have to play their bench. 81st in 2-point percentage allowed. Should I say 81st in 2-point percentage on offense? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. In terms of a 3-point percentage, they're 82nd, and they shoot about 15 threes per game. And Michaela Williams has been a sharp shooter this year, and I really, really like Michaela Williams' game. I really do. We hear so much about Anissa. We hear so much about Flage, but Michaela Williams is a beast. She is nice, especially offensively. You know, it's the reason why she was the number 2 overall recruit in that class behind, Juju Watkins. She's legit. She's very good. Free throw percentage, all right, 105th in the country. Anytime you're in the top third, you're a pretty good, free throw shooting team, and LSU is. The 73rd in assists per game, that's solid. 100th and fewest turnovers per game. They turn the ball over. They do. They 100th and fewest turnovers per game, especially with the schedule they have. If they would have had, let's say, a Carolina schedule was number 1 overall in the strength of schedule, though, instead of being 100th and fewest turnovers a game, they're probably like 150th. Let's just keep it real. That is how it goes. 72nd in assist to turnover ratio. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And defensively, if you're going to be one of the quote unquote contenders for the SEC championship this week, you got to play some defense. This is some really talented offensive teams right there. So you got to play some defense. You can have whatever offense you have, and LSU has a good offense, but defensively, you got to play some ball. And they're 42nd in defensive rating. Flage ain't there. So keep that in mind. 22nd in field goal percentage allowed. 62nd in 2-point percentage allowed. Both of those numbers is really, really good, especially at 22, ranked 22nd in field goal percentage allowed. That's sensational. That is great basketball. 16th in 3-point percentage allowed. LSU is a team that don't shoot the 3 a lot per se, but they defend the 3. 16th out of 362 basketball teams. That means their athleticism, they're running you off the 3-point line, things like that. 41st in steals per game and 37th in blocks per game. And LSU is a really, really good basketball team. But I was going to take them off the contenders. When Flage went down, I was going to take them off the contenders because I think they're a step below Texas and South Carolina with Flage gone. But I'm going to leave him on there. I'm going to leave him on there because I think it warranted them to be on this list because of the actual overall picture that they did this season. Do I believe that LSU is going to win the championship this season in the SEC without Flage Johnson? I do not. But out of respect, I have them in there. Then obviously the top 2 teams are tied for the first, and so we can do South Carolina first or Texas first, or we do Texas first and South Carolina second. So I'm gonna do Texas first. Let's do Texas first. Texas is an amazing basketball team. Amazing. 29-2 overall, 15-1 conference schedule. That's terrific. 3rd in net rating. That's awesome. 4th in strength of schedule. They didn't duck anybody. And they have a total of 12 quadrant 1 wins. Remember I said that the LSU had 6? Well, Texas got 12. Texas has 12 quadrant 1 wins. 3rd in offensive rating. 6th in defensive rating. This is what you call a very good all-around basketball team. This is why they're going to be a number 1 seed. We just go right out. I can stop right there. 3rd in offensive rating and 6th in defensive rating. And then they, this is why they be a number 1 seed, and they're one of the best teams in the country, if not the best team in the country. Terrific numbers. 15th in field goal percentage on offense. Anytime you're in the top 20 on field goal percentage, you legit. You legit. 59th in 2-point percentage. 211th in 3-point percentage. But here's the thing with Texas. Texas ain't shooting a whole lot of 3-pointers. They don't. When they played South Carolina, that first game, I think they shot 4 3-pointers. The second game, they might have shot 3. They don't shoot a lot. And over the course of the season, they've averaged 11 3-pointers per basketball game. Now, the 3-point percentage is not good. It's bad, actually. But when you shooting only 11 of them per game, you can get away with it. You really can. Texas is not built on shooting a whole bunch of threes. They built on efficiency, and they built on defense and rebounding. 55th in free throw percentage. Good. They're good right there, too. They're good right there, too. Gone are the days when you got some of these teams going, shooting 170th, 180th on the free throw line and going deep in the playoffs or in the tournament, if you will. Texas hit their free throws at a high rate. 30th in assists per game. You call that the Rory Harmon factor. You can call it the Madison Booker factor. When she's playing point guard or Rory's playing point guard, it really don't matter. It really don't matter because they're going to get assists. And they're going to get quality basket. You can call that like, okay, we can just dump it down to Taylor Jones, or we can dump it down to Old Acre, and I'm 6'5" and you're not, and I'm going to score the basketball. That you can call that too. We've seen a lot of that with Camila Cardozo over the 3 years that she was at South Carolina, so we know how that works. We really do. 18th in assist to turnover ratio. They don't commit a lot of turnovers, and then you factor in that they are very solid in getting assists at 30th in the country. There you go with 18th assist to turnover ratio. It's just a definition of a real good quality basketball team. Defensively, I mentioned they're 6th in the country in defensive rating. They're 48th in field goal percentage allowed. That's really good. They're 44th in 2-point percentage allowed. That's really good too. There's no real flaws. They ain't, and let's keep it real. With South Carolina and with Texas, there ain't no flaws in either one of the game. Both of those teams have, sort of I'm a little better than you in this aspect, or I'm a little worse than you in this aspect, but both of those teams are very evenly matched teams in a neutral site. Terrific for us as fans. It's just terrific. And steals per game, you're talking about 25th in steals per game and 13th in blocks per game. I actually thought it'd be higher than 13th in blocks per game with Taylor Jones and Old Acre, down low, but 13th is what it is. 19th in 3-point percentage allowed. I mentioned to you that LSU was really good in 3-point percentage allowed. Well, Texas is as well. This is going to be a terrific tournament. And Texas plays the winner. Texas don't play until what? Friday? Yeah, they play Friday. Friday at 6:00 on the SEC network. And they will play the winner. Okay, first off, we got Missouri and Mississippi State at 6:00 tonight. And the winner of that game plays Ole Miss at 6:00 tomorrow night. So I would guess that Mississippi State will beat Missouri, and then they'll play Ole Miss, and then Ole Miss will beat Mississippi State, and then they'll play Texas. Okay. And then finally, South Carolina. 27-3 overall, 15-1 in the conference, 2nd in net ranking. First in strength of schedule, have a total of 14 quadrant 1 wins, 2 more than Texas and 8 more than LSU. South Carolina has literally dodged. No one played the toughest schedule that I have ever seen in my life, and it's been terrific. Yes, we've lost 3 games. We lost 1 game to Texas. We beat Texas. Yes, we lost to UCLA. Yes, we got blown out by Connecticut. But this team is straight up amazing and are looking to do a lot of work in this SEC tournament. Make no mistake about it. South Carolina was 4th in offensive rating and 11th in defensive rating. Terrific numbers. Now, the defensive rating isn't what the Carolina defense has been in the past, let's say in the past 3-4 years, but we can also talk about, we mentioned that Flajay Johnson, was injured and isn't playing the SEC tournament, and that was a recent injury. How about this right here? Ashton Watkins, who should have won Defensive Player of the Year in the SEC, has been out for quite some time now with ACL injury, and Carolina still ranks 11th in defensive rating. She was first in block shots last year and first in defensive rating, and she ain't played much. Imagine if she was on the basketball team. Imagine she was on the basketball team right now with Swatkins there. It'll be some business decisions made with Carolina, but she'll be back next year. It's all good. It's all good. Carolina's 21st in field goal percentage and 44th in 2-point percentage. Both of those numbers are terrific. 98th in 3-point percentage. That is a big decline from last year when Carolina was first in the country in 3-point percentage. We dropped to 98th, and we shoot 18 3-pointers per game. We need to shoot a good percentage during the SEC tournament. Let's just keep it real. We need some 40% or higher 3-point percentage in the games on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yes, I'm fast forwarding to Sunday. You got it. 42nd in free throw percentage. Our three-point percentage went down, but our free throw percentage went straight up to 42nd in the country. Who thought that? Who thought that South Carolina would be 42nd in the country shooting free throws after shooting about 160th last year? Make it make sense. Carolina 32nd in assists per basketball game. That's Tina Pow. That's Raven Johnson. That's Chloe Kitts. All three of those players are averaging 3 or more assists per basketball game. I'm still upset that Chloe didn't get the love that she deserved and all these SEC awards, but Chloe, it's all good because I'm putting out right now, Chloe's going to be on the all SEC tournament team. Putting it right now. Put in work. Let them know. And with the 11th and fewest turnovers per game, Carolina takes care of the basketball. If we have revisionist history, let's have some revisionist history. And it sounds crazy. The game that we beat Texas, we had 22 turnovers. The game that we lost to Texas, we have half of that. That don't make no sense whatsoever. It don't. And Carolina having 11th out of 362 teams and fewest turnovers per game makes me think that if we take care of the ball, we got a good shot of winning. Now Texas beat us by 4 points. 4 points, but the media will let you think, make it seem like we lost by 20 because Texas getting so much love. But it's all good. Everything gonna be decided on the court. Everything will be decided on the court. Carolina's 9th in assist to turnover ratio. Don't turn the ball over and we get good assists. That's it right there. Defensively, like I said before, defensive rating is a little lower than it normally is. But here's the thing: we're 5th, and I think in the stats that really matter, we're 5th in field goal percentage allowed, and we're 3rd in 2-point percentage allowed. Those stats right there are determining factors for us winning this tournament this year. You just can't make that up. You can't make that up. 72nd in 3-point percentage allowed. That's fine. That's good. That's good. And let's keep it like that. And if we play Texas again, Texas don't shoot a lot of threes, so that's it's not I don't think that's going to be a huge outcome in the 3-point percentage allowed. And LSU, for that matter, don't shoot a ton of threes too. But 72nd is respectable. 72nd is the top, top 20%. So that's really good. Always going to get a lot of block shots. Carolina's 6th in block shots and 54th in steals per basketball game. What you have here are two teams that are a tier ahead of LSU or Kentucky. I think Kentucky and LSU are pretty much on the same playing field right now. I do. I would have had LSU a little higher, but Kentucky is right there with them. It's right there with them. And I think they're going to play some really good basketball as well because, you got Georgia and Arkansas playing at 1:30, playing right now. And you got Oklahoma going to play the winner of that game. And you can flip a coin. Is it Georgia? If you're Arkansas, let's say Georgia wins that game, Oklahoma going to blow them out. And then, have Oklahoma playing Kentucky. That game going to be great. Oklahoma and Kentucky on Friday at 2:30 p.m. is going to be must-see TV. That game going to be so much fun to watch. And if they are some upsets, there's always an upset or two. This is the SEC. When you have so many teams, like I mentioned, you have the 2 top tier teams, and then you have another lower tier that features, LSU and Kentucky, and then you could throw in, Ole Miss. Got to mention Ole Miss. Ole Miss is really good too. So I probably put LSU, Kentucky, and Ole Miss in the second tier. And then you got a jumbulation of everybody else, and then you got the lower tier being Arkansas or being teams like that, But they're going to be some upsets. There will be some upsets, and if Tennessee's already blown out, they've already blown out Texas A&M, and come on, that was expected, right? So Tennessee will play Vanderbilt on tomorrow at 11 a.m. That's a really good matchup. Now, Tennessee shouldn't have lost the way they did against Kentucky, where they got blown slam out. But they did. Okay. They want some get back, but they got to deal with Vanderbilt, who's a solid basketball team. They got to deal with Michaela Blakes. They got to deal with Camille Pierre. Tennessee got our own Talasia Cooper, and she'll always be our own because it's South Carolina. Got to deal with Jewel Spear. That game is a toss-up game. Will it be an upset if Tennessee beat Vanderbilt? No, because Tennessee, I think, underachieved toward the end of the season. Tennessee should be favored in that basketball game. Let's keep it real, regardless of the seeding. So in my opinion, if Vanderbilt beats Tennessee, that's the upset. That is the upset. And I believe that Vanderbilt is going to beat Tennessee on tomorrow morning. I do. I think Vanderbilt is playing better basketball, and I believe they're going to beat them. I think the game is going to be close. I think it's going to be a terrific game. I think we're going to see some stuff that's going to make me jump up and down in my seat at Greenville, the Bon Secours, arena. It's going to be so much fun. And then we'll play Vanderbilt on Friday at 12 o'clock. That's my first upset. Vanderbilt beating Tennessee. Then you got a situation, and the situation is, Texas got a double bye, and don't play until Friday at 6 p.m. Texas don't play until after we play, because we play at 12 o'clock on ESPN on Sunday, and Texas play at 6 o'clock on the ESPN network. Well, you got Mississippi State, 6 o'clock playing today, playing Missouri. We're going to go in and say that Mississippi State going to win. Then you got the Battle of Mississippi with Ole Miss and Mississippi State playing. So you got some hard feelings. You got some bad decisions that's going to be made in that basketball game. But Ole Miss is going to win. It's going to be a tough game, I think. But then Ole Miss is the better basketball team. They're the better basketball team, and they're going to beat them. Then you got Ole Miss and Texas. That game, when Ole Miss and Texas played, Texas won by 3 points. 3 points. And the game, I believe, was in Texas. So you're on neutral site. You're on neutral site ground. That game, I believe, is going to be very close again. If there's a potential for upset, it's that game with Ole Miss and Texas. Ole Miss is going to dirty up this game. Ole Miss is going to rebound the basketball. They're going to play physical. They have Madison Scott. They have Sierra Thenu. They have some really good basketball players. And the last game was close. If this game is in the 50s, on Friday, you better take Ole Miss to win this basketball game. If this game is higher than 59, Texas is going to win this game. But that game has me on upset alert. It really does. It has me on upset alert. Another upset, according to the seeding, that I can see. You got Florida playing Auburn. I think Florida win that basketball game at 8:30 p.m. That's tonight. And then they'll play the winner of Alabama. They'll play Alabama on tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. So Florida, Alabama, I believe, will win that basketball game, and they will play LSU, a depleted LSU Tigers, on Friday night at 8:30 p.m. Is Alabama better than LSU without Flage? Yes, I believe they are. I believe Alabama will beat LSU on Friday, 8:30 p.m. I'm betting it. I'm betting that game. I think Alabama is a very good team. They go into the tournament. LSU doesn't have all their horses in this game, and I believe they will win. I think LSU will go home early in this tournament, one and done, and then prepare for the NCAA tournament. Now, if they lose, here's the thing: if LSU loses to Alabama and goes home and don't make it to the semifinals of this, SEC tournament, would they be a number 2 seed? Hell no. Nah. Would they be a number 3 seed? I don't know. Because you got to take into account, is iffy or not iffy with Flage. You know what I mean? So if I was the committee, which ain't gonna hook up into March the 16th, I would say, okay, LSU should drop to a number 4 seed. If that's the case, we'll see. But I'm taking Alabama beating LSU on Friday at 8:30 p.m. So there's a lot of different rivalries in this basketball game. I already talked about, Mississippi State and Ole Miss. Texas and South Carolina is now a big heated rivalry with Vic Shaver bringing his girls over to the SEC. And I didn't like it last year when we played Tennessee 3 times. I don't like it this year where we potentially play Texas 3 times. Not a fan of that, and I'm sure Texas is not a fan of that either. Very similar teams, play offense well, play defense well, and we just see if we meet up in the finals, who's the best team once and for all. Injuries are an important part of this SEC tournament. Watkins is out for South Carolina. Flage is out for LSU. Those 2 things, it matters way more to LSU because, it just happened. And Watkins happened so long ago, it's not a factor in that regard in the SEC tournament because we've been rocking with, Chloe and Sanaya and Joyce for the better part of this year. So that's not a big thing in that regard. Home court advantage, I think that's something to talk about. There's been a whole hoopla talking about, this tournament being in Greenville and not far from Columbia, South Carolina. Well, it ain't. About an hour and a half from Columbia. So that's a bus ride away. That's a bus ride away. Will it be home court advantage with South Carolina play at 12 o'clock on Friday? For sure. Now, even though it's on the middle of the day, on a Friday afternoon, there's still going to be a ton of South Carolina fans. Will it be home court advantage when we play at 4:30 on Saturday? You got that right, for sure. Is that a disadvantage for the opposing teams? It is. But it is what it is. It is what it is. You have the cachet of South Carolina, been there, done that, and you have the arena that's not far from it, and you have the ability to fill up that arena, and there's going to be a lot of South Carolina fans. Now, we know the LSU travel. We know that. They roll like that. We know the Texas travel. They're going to be showing up in droves. So Carolina, it will be more Carolina fans in every game that Carolina plays. There's going to be more Carolina fans. We can talk about the tournament itself, as the thing gets going. Today is what it is, but the next day it's going to be a ton of Carolina fans because we taking over Greenville. We take it over, and Cam Will leading the way. It's home court advantage. I don't know what to say to you. We can't moan and complain about it. It is what it is at this point. It's a home court advantage. We're talking about the NCAA tournament, the first 2 rounds. Carolina going to be, playing in Columbia, LSU potentially be playing in, Baton Rouge, Texas will be playing, and Austin. Those things happen. That's where it's set up because you want to maximize the fans at these events. You want to put them in eyeballs on this product, and you want to put as many butts in the seats as you can. And that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. Predictions for this basketball game, it's going to be South Carolina, in the championship playing against Texas. And we can go backwards and say South Carolina will beat Vanderbilt. Yes, because I believe that Vanderbilt going to beat Tennessee. We can say that after we beat Vanderbilt, that we'll beat the winner of Kentucky and Oklahoma. And yes, we will, regardless of what team it's going to be. I'm actually predicting Oklahoma to beat Kentucky, but regardless, it don't matter. It don't matter. We're going to beat either one of those teams on Saturday at 4:30 p.m. And now with Ole Miss and Ole Miss, Mississippi State taking Ole Miss, like I said before, and then Ole Miss taking on Texas. I'm going to take Texas in a very close game against Ole Miss. And then I already got Alabama beating LSU. And then Texas is going to play Alabama. And I believe Texas will beat Alabama. And then you will have South Carolina and Texas in the championship game on Sunday at 3 p.m. the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it's supposed to be. You will have the two best teams in the SEC fighting it out for the championship. Tied for the regular season, and those are the best two teams that make it to the championship. And then both of those teams be number one seeds. We will have two teams in the SEC being number one seeds. And the first game that South Carolina played, and when we blew out Texas, we shot over 50%. Offensively, we were terrific. 51% from the field, 52% from the 2-point percentage, 43% from three on 7 attempts. We out-rebounded Texas by 2, 42-20. We had more assists. We had 12 assists. So that's 7 assists. They have 10 steals. We had 5 steals. This was a big-time turnover game for Carolina without 22 turnovers. They only had 12, and a big part of that was those steals, but we still won the basketball game. It was a foul fest. Again, we had 16 fouls. They had 19 fouls, but Carolina won that game by 16, 17 points. And that game was in Columbia. Let's fast forward. Fast forward to when the game was in Austin, Texas, and we lost. We didn't shoot as well. We only shot 37%. I mentioned before, we shoot 43% or more, 99% of the time, we're going to win the basketball game because our defense is going to stand up. Texas shot 44% this time. They shot much, much better than they did previously when they shot 28%. South Carolina shot 42%, 2-point percentage. Texas shot 47% from 2-point percentage. Much different than last game as well, because Texas shot 28% from 2-point percentage. Carolina's a top 3 team in terms of 2-point percentage allowed, where they had their way against us in shooting 47% from 2-point percentage. In terms of threes, Carolina shot 26%. 26%. Did I mention before that Carolina shot 43% in the win? Texas, and I ain't gonna mention that three percentage because they ain't really shooting many threes. They only shot a couple. Rebounded, Texas out-rebounded us by 7. They had 42 rebounds. We had 35. They won the rebounding edge, and assists was the same, 11 and 11. They had 9 steals. We had 6 steals. So we gotta prevent that. They get these easy baskets from these steals, and that comes to the post. We're getting too many turnovers from the post when we play Texas. You talking about 3 or 4 turnovers from Sinai Fagan? Can't let that happen. We talking about 3, from Joyce. We can't let that happen. I'm expecting a better attention to detail, a better effort in taking care of the ball in the post. If Texas get 9-10 steals in this basketball game and Carolina get a whole bunch of turnovers, they're in a situation. The blocks about the same, 3 blocks or 2 blocks, and we had 10 turnovers, which sounds crazy, and we lost the game, and they had 13 turnovers. We had 20 fouls, whole bunch of them. They had 18 fouls, whole bunch of them. Let the ladies play. Let's see who's the best team, and let's settle like that. This third outing, I'm expecting a close basketball game. And I'm expecting, more of the same in terms of physical play. I'm expecting Carolina to have their turnovers in order, much like the second game. I'm expecting Carolina to shoot the ball pretty good. I'm expecting the crowd to be a factor in this basketball game. I'm expecting that Carolina will limit them better in the 2-point percentage allowed aspect. The game will be won or lost with that. If Texas is effective in their 2-point percentage, they're going to win the basketball game. If Carolina shows up and be that number 2 team in the country and 2-point percentage allowed, we're going to win the basketball game. It's that simple. We could talk about rebounds. We could talk about offensive rebounding percentage, defensive rebounding percentage, block shots, all those things. This game is won or lost by South Carolina in their defense and 2-point percentage allowed. That's it. That's Cam Will's spill right there. That's it. It's not even difficult. It's not difficult to analyze. It's not difficult to say. I ain't even talking about no individual players. I ain't talking about, Madison Booker goes off. Texas is going to win this basketball game. No, that doesn't mean they're going to win the basketball game because Madison Booker goes off, but they still shoot about 35%, 34% for 2-point percentage. Carolina won the basketball game. That is it. That is it right there. Bottom line up front. Carolina needs to hit their threes. We need to rebound the basketball and play defense in terms of 2-point percentage allowed. When it's all said and done, when the nets are being cut on Sunday afternoon, around 5:30 evening time, I believe South Carolina win by 6 points. I believe that Tahina Power is going to be MVP. I believe Carolina will be a number 1 overall seed in this NCAA tournament. That's what I believe. Things are about to heat up. I can't wait for it to happen. Basketball, March Madness is here. Let's turn up for our ladies. Let's have fun in Greenville. Shots on me. This concludes another episode of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I'm your man, Captain Will. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will so I continue to bring you the gospel Gamecocks every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now rocking with the best. And since you're rocking with the best, come rock with your man, Captain Will. Let's go.
J-Rock did this